Hello guys, I just thought I'd do a quick video on my single speed mountain bike build. Now basically this is an old frame I picked up off the street. Someone had thrown it in the trash and I thought I'd just grab it out there, and I had this little project in mind for a while, so it seemed like a nice little frame. I think it's a 22" or something like that. Something, I can't remember. I measured it across the top bar, so about 22" or something. Not sure if that's where you're supposed to measure it, but anyway, nice little frame. I was a bit worried that it was a little frame, but small size, but it seems to be really nicely handling at the minute. Handles really well, the smaller frame. I'm actually having quite a bit of fun on it. And there you go, that sprocket there was the original off the bike, which was, I believe, used to have stickers up there, Rally Boulder, which was actually a nice little bike, but it's only a low-end bike, you know, it's nothing special, just exactly the thing I wanted for the build. So something I wasn't worried about breaking or messing up, you know. It's got a lot of damage, for old rust damage, which I've sanded down and probably going to spray it up, probably keep it black. It's just an old scrappy bike which I'm really having fun at the moment. And as I was going to say, that is a 48 tooth sprocket there, and it was the original off the bike. Luckily it had some screws in there. This is all plastic coated, the pedal arms, and are joined to this larger sprocket. So the others were removable, luckily enough. They had some little plastic bits that come down here, some little nuts underneath, and you could go around the back and do them. I had the whole bike apart anyway. I had all this ripped off, everything, the frame down to like just basic. And on the back is basically a hub. I don't know if you can see that, but it was a hub which I took off a different bike. It was there was a few wheels which were actually scrapped as well. They were all buckled and broken up and twisted, but I actually took this center of this wheel, this hub, and married it to a different rim, because this was a better rim than the one that was with this hub was totally damaged and messed up. But this is 15 teeth, and I managed to use the actual cog was off this thing. It's a weird sort of a hub. It goes bigger at the back, it goes bigger, gets smaller, and then smaller at the front, because some of them are all one size and they go through, and then the cogs, the center of all the cogs are the same size and they fit over. But on this one that was different. As the cogs got forwards, the center got smaller and it was a different size, which actually worked in my favor, which meant I didn't need, you can't really see that, can you? It's a bit dark, but I didn't need spacers, because there's a big lip there, bigger lip, and the front cog, this was the second cog up, so would that be, I can't remember how the gears go now, that would be the higher gear, wouldn't it? So it's one exactly, the bottom very small cog, it's the next one up, and that was the 15 tooth one I got on here. And I had to bodge a little bit of a spacer at the front, which is just a rim of plastic, which is just a piece of plastic off like an old sweetener jar. Actually, I had to sort of hacksaw it in half and stick it around. I am definitely going to change that, because that is really thin plastic, and although there's no pressure being exerted on it really as I'm riding, it's just holding the cog in position, stopping it from sliding forward really. It's worked alright for 2 rides. I've had 2 test rides. First test ride I had a smaller sprocket on here, and the chain was, which I'll tell you about in a minute how I got my tension, but the chain was a bit too loose with the smaller one, and it did actually jump off once when I did a bit of a jump. I got a bit jumpy and jumped down an embankment and the chain jumped off. But this larger cog now had no problems, jumped down exactly the same jump, landed, chain stayed on, and there you go. It's got quite a bit of looseness there, but I think there's something like, I don't know if this is buckle or what it is, but when I turn the chain, sometimes it's tighter than it is. Mostly it's like, it's got quite a lot of spring in it, but you don't want it like totally solid tight. And how I've had it here, I haven't had no problems, like I said. It rides pretty well. I went to this larger sprocket because when I had the smaller one on there, you know, you're pedaling for your life, you're not getting nowhere. It was good for all the hills and things, but when you want to like sort of ride on straights, which I do a lot of riding along straight, this one is the best because then you can get up a bit of speed. And then all the hills, when I come to the hills, I just try to get a little bit of speed up the old-fashioned way. Do you remember when you all used to ride around on BMXs and you used to have to get a little bit of a run up at the start of the hill and go up? It's like a giant BMX, really. That's what it is. It's a giant BMX. They're a lot of fun. You haven't got like a load of gears clanking around on the back, on the front. I was wondering before though whether I could just have a single gear on there and still have another couple of cogs on the front, just another one down, the next one down, and then you could actually have one for up hills, couldn't you, and you would change into it. But at the moment I'm enjoying this as it is. Perfect, nice little pedals there. They were off a different bike. I slapped them on here. What else? I totally rebuilt this wheel, as I said. That's about all I've done to it. Totally scrappy frame. I've sanded the rust down, gonna paint it up. What else is there? Got the seat stem up quite high because, like I said, it's quite a small size frame. The handlebars are sort of like, I don't know if they're called bullhorn handlebars or whatever, they're sort of straight across. I do like the ones that have a bit of rise in them better, but gonna have to get a set of them to stick on there maybe. But not too bad with these handlebars at the minute. Brake levers I got off another bike which I had, which I didn't like the frame so much. The frame wasn't so much of a nice, well, saying nice, this frame I know isn't the nicest looking in the wheel, but still got the rally badge on the front. But it's the sort of frame I wanted, just solid forks, solid, thin, bad frame. You know, you could even probably put like racer wheels on this and it wouldn't be bad. I was thinking of actually getting slimmer tyres because, like I said, a lot of the thing I do is it's sort of like dust track, like canalways and things, and I think I'd rather a sort of more hybrid tyre, between road and dust track, you know. And there you go, there it is, the beast, the one-speed mountain bike. So if anyone says to you, you know, you can't sort of do this, you can't do that, don't worry about it, just try it. I mean, this cog, like I said, it was off the original wheel. People say, you know, it's going to keep jumping off all the time, the chain, because those cogs actually got little sort of bits shaven out of them and stuff, which make the chain go up and down better, sort of skip up and down better. But so far, like I said, I haven't had it skip off once on this. Not while I've got this chain, so you've got the chain in the right tension. And this back bit as well, if you're making one of these, this is another reason why I wanted this frame, is because where this slides in, it doesn't just slip straight up in, it goes in that way. It's almost, BMXs, you slip them in the back, I think, don't you? In this one, it slips in that way. So it allowed me really to have some movement front, forward and backwards. And luckily with this cog ratio, which is the 48 and the 15, I was able to have enough tension. I mean, I can even get this chain tighter if I want it, because that has still got some movement allowance to go backwards, because the wheel drops in that way, forwards type thing. And you don't want it too tight though. And this chain in itself is a miracle, because it was a solid lump of rust basically, which I left soaking in oil, took it out, sort of ragged it around a load, got it sort of moving again. It was literally solid, you couldn't move it. It was just like, you could hold, it was like a cartoon, you could hold it up and it just it wouldn't flop away, and it stayed in a solid shape. Like, oh my god, it's terrible. But like I said, chain, I'm probably going to get a better chain one day, but I wanted to build this bike out of a load of scrap, and that's what I did. Thinking probably get a probably am going to get another cog. I want to try one that's a tiny bit bigger, because I did want to go a tiny bit smaller on the front, but like I said, after riding it now, I've ridden it once with this gearing and once with the smaller one, and this is definitely the best. I definitely recommend getting the bigger, but even when I ride with gears, usually I rather go down one. I rather leave the chain more on the middle cog, but they come in all different sizes, don't they? Some smaller, some middle cogs are smaller or bigger than others, you know, but there you go. So just try it, you know, if you're thinking about doing it. I built this totally out of scrap and managed to get it done. It's a load of fun, nice little bike to throw around. Just grab it, go riding, don't have to worry about your gears clanking about or changing gear going up and down hill. Just get those legs working up that hill and do it, like, you know. So that's it. See you again in the next one, guys. Maybe I'll show it once it's been painted or something, maybe. Never know. So long, guys.